Welcome back, America. If you've been listening and reading a lot of Just the News lately, you're going to notice Louisiana is in the news all the time nationally. Not only is it at the center of the great energy revolution going on in America, also the largest LNG export effort ever in American history, it's also at the heart of reshaping our legal issues in America, whether it's parents' rights or redistricting. Joining us right now, a woman who's on the forefront of that incredible legal battle, the Attorney General of Louisiana, Liz Murrill. General Murrill, great to have you here.
It's great to be with you in the studio.
It is great to have you. Big things ahead. Redistricting is on the forefront of Louisiana's mind. Tell us what's going on there right now.
Yeah, well, tomorrow morning we'll be in the United States Supreme Court talking about whether Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act is constitutional or whether it violates the Equal Protection Clause. This has been a long time coming for us. You know, we've been in redistricting battles for a very long time. And, you know, most recently we drew a map that the courts basically directed us to draw reluctantly. We had been saying we didn't think we could do this in a constitutional way, and they said do it anyway. So here we are back at the court.
Amazing.
You know, and redistricting has been such a hot topic because of Texas, because of California. Your case is kind of laying the groundwork, though, for these other states. Won't it affect those?
Well, these cases are all hugely consequential, and you know, we've been complaining for some time now that the court's jurisprudence really has just been impossible to apply, that it is kind of extraordinary in the context of other Supreme Court cases that have come out that deal with race-based actions, and that we really don't think that we should be required by the courts or by the Congress to sort our voters by race.
And that's really it. The law is actually rooted in Martin Luther King's dream that we'd have a colorblind society. But this law actually has injected race into every part of elections, right?
It has. It actually requires us to go. And if you read the court opinions that put us here, the courts and ostensibly because Congress said so are requiring us to go and sort our voters by race. And in this case, you know, the only way you can draw a performing majority-minority map is by slicing off our black voters from a number of large population centers from the top to the bottom of our state. Wow. And we originally said we can't do it. We think it would violate the Equal Protection Clause, and the court said go do it anyway. And so we reluctantly did so. And now we've said if we couldn't do that and it wasn't proper to do that, then you're the problem, not us.
Right, exactly.
Good answer.
Exactly. Yeah. And we see this happening across.
You might get some nodding heads tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You're the common denominator here. I want to ask you, you know, during the Biden administration, many Americans watched with horror as abortion became a mail to your home type procedure. There were a lot of folks in this country who said this cannot stand, but you're doing something about it. Tell us about it.
Well, you know, we had already taken steps after the Dobbs opinion came out to establish Louisiana's position as defending life. Our legislature in an extraordinarily bipartisan manner is very pro-life. And so they've passed laws to protect women and babies, and some of those laws include prohibiting the use of mifepristone and misoprostol to induce an abortion. And what we have now is open season on women and their babies because these pills are being sent into our state to anybody who will ask for them. And so we have sued the FDA to pull back some Biden administration rules that are allowing this to happen. And hopefully the Trump administration is going to take some action and pull those rules back.
Yeah. Big moment. We're watching that closely. Some developments even in the last week on that we're watching closely. You'll be back at the Supreme Court early next year with the Ten Commandments case, which I think a lot of parents all across this country are watching closely. Tell us where it stands right now, what the likely arguments are going to be.
Well, thank you. Just last week, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals decided to take that case en banc, which means we'll be in front of all 17 of the judges that are active on the Fifth Circuit, and they'll reevaluate a decision of a panel. They'll go back and reevaluate the district court decision below, which enjoined the operation of our law. You know, we have said all along that we think this law is constitutional. We created posters to illustrate how it can be applied constitutionally, and quite frankly, that should have been the end of it. But it wasn't, and so we may find ourselves back at the United States Supreme Court in the spring or potentially in the fall, defending that law and our ability to kind of get some moral instruction back into our schools.
Big idea.
I think that's really wonderful, and attacking that situation from all angles. Another angle you're attacking it from, as far as morality, is by suing Roblox. And a lot of people are thinking, why on earth? Well, it turns out that it's kind of a haven for sex predators.
Yeah, it's a superhighway for sex predators to have access to our children. You know, it's extraordinary the reaction that I got when I filed that lawsuit. I think I had the strongest reaction that I've seen for anything that I've done.
Okay.
And a lot of parents, I think, were very shocked to see how easy that app does permit access to their children, that any adult could essentially communicate with any child, that these experiences that were being created were just, you know, really, really offensive in some cases, but in other cases it was like creating a park, inviting all the sex predators to the park, and then opening the doors to your children.
Oh my gosh.
Or the other way around, you know,
Right,
opening the
right.
doors to children and then inviting all the sex predators in.
Absolutely, yeah.
When you first looked at this, you didn't get a straight answer, did you, about what was really going on in the app? Was it? Did you get,
Absolutely not. You know, they have promoted the app. They went public with these claims that it was safe for children, and they sold that to parents as well. You know, that was one of the strongest reactions that I got, was from parents saying, I had no idea that this was so dangerous for my child. And it's not just true. I mean, it is very true of Roblox. We have seen it through all of the investigations that we conduct on a routine basis through our ICAC units, our Internet Crimes Against Children unit, that this is one of the worst offenders. There are others, and, you know, quite frankly, it is something that we will continue to fight to protect our kids.
Yeah, so very important. So much history happening. I just want to ask real quickly, there's been this explosion in energy development. Louisiana always been at the forefront of that. How different is it now that you got the Trump administration in there and some of those green new energy rules are gone?
Oh, night and day. I mean, just extraordinary. You know, I think I was probably I probably filed more lawsuits against the Biden administration than any other attorney general in the country, challenging Biden-era rules and the assault on the oil and gas industry. We fought fights that oil and gas was scared to fight for themselves, and it was, you know, this has just been a very, very extraordinarily beneficial change on policy by the Trump administration, and it's making a huge difference.
Yeah.
Drill, baby, drill.
We're going to power the world.
Yeah.
The world's going to be relying on Louisiana LNG. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Attorney General, what a great honor to have you on the show. You can be watching all these cases we'll be covering tomorrow with the arguments. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks. Anytime.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, more. We're going to have our weekly health update right after these messages.